Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Thursday afternoon, which means it's the Three Amigos. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing awesome. I'm so excited for this topic. I can't wait.
And Dion, how are you?
Howdy, I'm doing great. Ready for round two. I'm glad you gave me a couple seconds to catch my breath because the things you guys say between recordings catch me every time.
It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. Well, guys, what we're going to do in episode number two is we are going to revisit the 50-year spreadsheet. This is actually something I first created 7 months ago to highlight that I believed we were entering 70s environment wage inflation. People at the time thought I was crazy. Look at where we are now. We have more and more people, including the CEOs of Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, saying wage inflation is everywhere. That is their words, their quote, not mine. So now that more people agree that we are in wage inflation, I want to bring it back and remind people what happens when rates go up 300%, when rates double, because most people think of rates double, housing crashes. So we will remind people what happens. Yeah, so we're going to go back and revisit the 50-year spreadsheet. I'm sorry, but again, more and more people need to see it. You ready?
Yep. Very ready. Now, have you updated the spreadsheet to have a sound clip when you go to update the field on your return to where it actually laughs?
No, not yet. Not yet. That would be sophistication and skills that I do not have.
I'll get on it.
There you go. There you go. So folks, just a reminder, I created this spreadsheet. All the data sources are highlighted. If you want to go see that I got the right numbers, all the links are here. Go check it out. I've summarized stuff by decades, highs and lows. So there's a lot of stuff in here. And most importantly, I thought this was so valuable. I give it away for free in my free course, link below, and in the paid course, it's just in the bonus sections. But specifically, let's talk about the 1970s. And the first thing I want to do is I want to look at 1973, which you see here in column E. And then I want to go right over here to column, I don't know what that is, behind the lumberjack, M. Yeah, and it's a 16% interest. Right, so it goes from here to here, and that would be a 800% increase, or 800%, not percent, 800 basis points,
800 basis points, yeah,
increase. And so again, it is possible for rates to double, and that's pretty crazy. So any thoughts on interest rates doubling, what that might do to housing? We'll go to Dion first, I guess.
So what I don't think people understand is how likely it is that interest rates double. I think they're going to go up quite a bit. I still think middle of the year, middle 22, we're going to see rates come down because of the fear of deflation. But right now, as the data is coming out, first saying inflation is transitory, and then saying something ridiculous like inflation is 7%.
Yeah, it's way more than that.
When it's way more than that.
Yeah.
I wonder what Crystal Palace with a gated community and a guard standing at the edge, those people live in that are looking at the numbers thinking it's only 7%. Or you see something like rents have gone up 2.3%.
Oh, that makes me mad. I actually had to recompute CPI because that was such a stupid number.
In my area, at tenants' request, rents are increasing 20 to 40%. And there's data out there that's showing 2.3%, and they're saying that that's part of inflation. When the data comes out and they can prove that inflation is multiples of what people think it is currently, rates could go up, and I could see it easily doubling.
And that's key. That's one of the things that I want people to take away from this 10 or 20 minutes. The chances that the 30-year mortgage rate double aren't zero, and they're not even 10%. It's a significant number. And the one reason we're doing this spreadsheet again, because 6 months ago when I created this, everybody thought I was crazy. And now we're here and wage inflation is real. So again, rates doubling. Matt, what do you think?
I called 4 by July 1st, and I called between upper 4 and 5 by the end of the year.
Yeah.
I still think I'm right. And you know what? I'm not only just saying it, I refinanced 80% of my portfolio because that's what I believed. So I'm not saying anybody else should go out and do what I did, but that's what I did. I did. Millions upon millions of dollars of real estate. I spent the hundreds of hours with my lovely wife putting together all these spreadsheets because this is what I feared the most. I fear that the rates that we saw as investors at 4% 30-year fixed rate debt was likely the last time that we were going to see that. And worst case scenario is I have all the fresh data and I have all the data already put together. If in 6 months, Dion's right, I'm going to go back and I'm going to refi them again.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah,
worst case scenario. That's what I'm going to do. Best
Yeah,
case scenario is, or depending on what you call best case,
Mhm.
I'll keep it the way it is. And I got 30-year fixed rate debt
Yeah.
and a bunch of cash.
Yeah, that was, again, the beauty of our channel is we really do this. We think about our market every day. We talk to the audience, but we're doing this for a living. So yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah.
So again, the other prevailing call out there is if interest rates go up, if they go up 1 point, it has to fall 10%. So in this example, it goes from 8 to 16. It's supposed to fall 80%, right? You guys have heard that, yeah?
Mhm.
Well, let's see what actually happened. In 1973, it was $27,000. And in 81, it was $59,000. So just in case you're not good with math, that's more than 100%.
Uh-huh.
That's not supposed to be possible.
Uh-huh.
I don't get it. How can that be? What do you think, Matt?
Wages.
Exactly.
Wages.
Exactly.
Just that simple. Wages.
So look at this wage line, folks.
Mhm.
This is why I keep telling people the wage inflation cycle is real. It's going to surprise a lot of people. Wages went up almost 100% as well, right? The family of four went from 10,005 to 19, cumulative percentage, never below 5.4%. Now, again, I'm not calling wage inflation like this for a decade. I'm just saying, don't be an idiot talking about rates and price without understanding that wages can make all of that go away.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's,
Mhm.
I was gonna say, I think there's this component, which is the wages piece, on top of the pricing and pricing pressure. But the other thing that's also not being ever really discussed in any of these crisis videos is inventory.
Yeah, exactly. What record
And
low.
when you put the four of these things together,
Mhm.
I mean, this is a monster like we've never seen before, because there's never been this much cash in the market. There's never been wage increases like what we're going to, like actual real wage increases,
Mhm.
not what the government's telling you they are, but what they actually are.
Yeah.
The whole reason that, we had talked about, doing that when you did that number, it was like factoring CPI over 10%.
Yeah.
You and I were laughing in between a video take. We were laughing in between the take because I was like, there's no way it's 2% annually on rents.
There's no chance.
Like, it's not the number. It's not the number anywhere. Like, I don't care where you are. It's 2% nowhere.
No.
And so again, it's just one of those things where people will be lazy and allow themselves to get permission to not do the work and to sit back and wait and like, well, you know what? I just wasn't doing it. Listen, if Warren Buffett listened to the news every day on how to invest, he wouldn't be Warren Buffett.
Yeah. Dion, you want to add anything to this?
There's a couple of things that changed between 1970 and now too. We had in a family of four in the 70s, generally you had one income.
True.
And so if one income goes up, it's kind of like owning a single family house versus a duplex.
Yeah.
If a single family house, if rents increase $200, you get $200 more with a single family house. With a duplex, it's $400 more because my duplex is rent for exactly what single family do in my area. There's no difference because they're a small multifamily. So a couple of units will increase more. So if you have currently, and in the 70s and 80s, which is when our parents' time, you would have a job and you would stay at one job for a long period of time. So you saw those incremental increases in wages where people would say, oh, I'm making 7% more than I did last year. So that brings the average to these numbers that you're seeing. In the 2000s, it's more common to change jobs every 2 to 3 years and see a significant increase instead of that gradual increase from the same employer.
Great point.
So the wage inflation that we're seeing now is partially due to this, what they call it, the great resignation of the November and December of 4 million plus people quitting jobs. That's not 4 million people who went on unemployment. That's 4 million people who changed jobs.
Exactly.
Changing jobs increases wages a lot more than the percents of wage increase that we're going to see. Wages drives rent. People buy houses based on payment and the 40-year mortgage. So again, I see a significant increase in housing prices in the next couple of years based on this data. And even with interest rates going up, because we have those other factors increasing the ability for people to buy more and more expensive places.
Yeah, and just for the final one, because more and more people ask for it, I did add S&P data, row 18. Look at the S&P 500, 1973, January 1st close. It's 118. Look at it January 1st at the end of 82. It's 117. S&P 500 did nothing for a decade. That is dead money, dead money, dead money. Real estate doubled, rents went up. Again, this is just a repeat of what's going on in the 70s. I believe we are in a very similar environment where the stock market may have some dead years ahead, but real estate, because it's levered, because you need a roof over your head, nobody likes to live in a car. Wages are going up, wage inflation. Again, Jamie Dimon, CEO of Goldman's like, wage inflation is everywhere. I don't know what you guys want to see. I'm glad I brought this to you 6 or 7 months ago. If you didn't pay attention then, you might want to pay attention now. Go get this spreadsheet. It is in the free course link below. Dion, any closing thoughts?
What is measured can be improved. Follow the data. Don't think my real estate agent or my lender said this and follow, or worse, the lender who's telling my friends to get their adjustable rate mortgages.
Oh.
Follow the data. What caused 2008? A lot of the problems in 2005, adjustable rate mortgages, ninja loans, 105% loan to value borrowing. We can look at historical data like that to know what to do now. Mm-hmm. And so when you put all the work into this spreadsheet, that's actually helping me figuring out, here's my plan if rates go up. Here's my plan if rates go down. Here's my plan if they stay the same. Have a plan for each outcome.
Love it. And how can people find you?
Right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom.
Very cool. And Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, why are graphs on these other channels more important and more valid than your graph? It's your spreadsheet. Like they're taking, I will always pick the winner of an argument that brings 9 data elements and how they correlate to the one that brings 2 and how they correlate. So I'll take the narrative that's supported by the most factors of data. I'm a slave to it. I'm a slave to the number. It's the way it goes. I don't invest on feelings. Mm-hmm. It's not what makes me warm and fuzzy on the inside. The numbers, the facts, touchy-feely lumberjack.
Yeah, they make, is that possible?
That's what makes me giggle like a schoolboy.
There you go.
Is the numbers. I want to see the numbers, and I want to see, if you're going to give me a narrative, I need to see the supporting data elements. And when you and I were talking about the spreadsheet, and the original was 10 years, and then you were like, okay, 20, and then it was like 50, and it was like, yeah, like, let's see what the story is. And that is the story. And I think that so many things, I mean, the gas crisis then, food crisis now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, food and gas, I mean, everything, and everything's up off the charts. So at the end of the day, when you walk out your door and when you're paying your bills, do you feel better about where you are now versus even 2 years ago? How could you? How could you? And so recognizing that things are shifting in the market, it's your opportunity. If you've done the work, put in the time, brought in the right number of resources, you will be playing at an elite level that puts you far and above the other people in the game that will be on pause right now because they read a report that said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how can people find you?
Lumberjack Landlord, Mr. and Mrs. Lumberjack, tonight live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully I expect we'll have some fun, but I have no idea what Ashley's going to say because I haven't really seen her.
So in other words, you might be in trouble.
Probably. I don't know. I think she might have seen the video where you said that we were a great couple and that she was the half of a great couple. And then I said 72%. I was saying that about me. So I'm hoping that she understood the joke and that we're good, but I don't know.
Ashley, he really does love you.
For sure. Yeah.
There you go.
No doubt. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.